So, good evening. Welcome back. This is a short Tuesday evening stream to correct the mistakes I made in the last stream. They were big, those mistakes. I did the old classic of walking out the exam hall and realising all the answers to the complex questions just after you've walked out. Yeah, absolute classic. Also, I recently bought some clothes, so you get face cam. Or at least it should be giving face cam. It looks like I'm there. Let's check. Yes, I've got face cam up. So the problem, right? I'm building the binary comparator to do greater than or equal to comparisons, right? Now the problem is I need a signal to propagate as fast as possible from essentially the top to the bottom, although it won't necessarily be the top, it could be any one of these layers, right? But it has to propagate from whichever layer it is all the way down to the bottom as fast as possible. And the problem is it's going to go through a very circuitous route, right? Because it has to switch every layer below it on as it goes down. Which means very circuitous route means a lot of repeaters, right? Obviously, standard Minecraft repeaters add like a ticker delay, which is about 0.1 seconds. And there's like literally going to be 2 or 3 per level, so it's like 32 it's like 3.2 seconds basically of delay just to get from top to the bottom, which is just not acceptable. So the obvious solution to that is to make the path shorter and to use instant wires. So the standard path as it goes would be input here, right? So redstone signal coming in here with the input from the next layer up, right? And then output on this side, redstone signal coming out, and then that feeds into this side here, right? And obviously that loops around. But the first thing I do is I put a shortcut across here, so I put a fast insta wire across here that instantly covers that circuit and avoids the signal will still propagate around there, right? But it will propagate around there much slower, and that propagation will be redundant. But that adds a second complication, which is that I need to make sure that there's no loop, right? So obviously, if I put a repeater in a loop with itself, that repeater will stay on forever and ever. And since I'm putting like a connection across here and then an input there and an output there, that's a loop straight away. So basically, I need to make sure that there's a, they're pointing the opposite ways basically to act as a diode. Now, the problem I had with that is the spacing of the insta wires means that it's difficult to get the signals to propagate down, basically. But a very, very simple solution to that, and what it is right, so this system here is actually entirely agnostic as to whether it puts output here and input here. Like it could just as easily put output here and have input here. What that means is I can alternate whichever side it's got the output and input on my way up, and that means that the topology of building the instant wire becomes much, much simpler, or at least it should do, unless I've done another stupid, which I may have done another stupid. Excuse my infantile language. So I think, yes, start with an insta wire across here, right, like I did yesterday, not yesterday, 2 days ago. Also I need to get comfortable. So it's like this. Block of redstone. Like so. So then second layer, this is the beauty of the right, so let's just make it explicitly clear what I'm doing here. So on this layer here, this needs to be output. Right, now output from here can't loop back with itself because the repeater is here. On this layer here, that will be input. And obviously it needs to be is there something wrong with my nervous system that I keep hitting F by accident? Is that concerning? If you watch these streams, I'm always doing that, like just by accident when I go to press D. Anyway, so now you see the true evil genius of my plan. Because the order of input and output is redundant, I can just do this. Alright. Hang on. Yes, that's correct. So and this is where the bonus, because the problem before was that I had to send a signal from this end here, then I had to loop it all the way around to this end here, because obviously the signal from the top layer has to go into the back of the repeater on the bottom layer, so it has to, and when that repeater is obviously that way, this way around, right, so that means looping a signal from there around to there. But when they're opposite like this, all I have to do is this. Although I do think that there's a good chance that will interfere with the insta-wire there, so I'm going to have to revisit that design a little bit. If it does, it's a relatively simple fix, just go down the outside. Of course, for this layer, alternate back again, output on this end. Can you tell I'm smug about this solution? That is correct for that, and obviously this is the acid test, this next bit. This is where it the pattern folds back on itself. Except you'll note that this is going to be... Oh, it is going to be pointing the same way as that one, so that's actually fine. Question is, which side does the signal go from? Signal goes from there down to there, so that's actually... Oh, actually, I know what, I've made a mistake here, so this needs to be the other way around, sorry. Crazy how things like that just sneak in. Yeah, because this one needs to be hit the opposite way because it's a odd number. So the one thing is I've got to build 6 of these before it repeats, basically. It's like a spinal representation. So just needs to step down here, like so. And this just needs to step down here. Like that. Again, with a possible interference there. So, so this needs to be output. And this needs to be input. Now obviously it doesn't matter how slow it takes for that to propagate around there, because it's going to be propagating instantly down these insta wires. Well, near as instant as my computer can simulate. I mean, I guess it technically is instant because it occurs all in one frame, right? Like, I mean, it's as instant as it takes for my monitor to refresh. Because obviously it does all the computation, pushes it to a buffer, and then the buffer just pushes it all out onto the screen. And philosophically speaking, it happens when it's rendered on my screen, so, you know, it's as instant as the refresh rate on my monitor. I think that's... no, that's wrong. It's the other end. So this is output. Input. That's this direction. Honestly, I love that solution. And now the pattern has gone full circle, or at least I can just copy and paste this up now. So it just needs a step there. That is easy enough, easily done. So I need to copy from about here. And I need this here. So there too. Needs to include the top of that, but it doesn't actually, so we just fill it in. Where do I copy it from? So I copy it from standing right here. Oh, I forgot to delete that block. Okay, so this top one should be incomplete, right? Yes. Put some lights on here. Doesn't help that I've got a very bright light in my face for my camera. Oh, and yes, it overwrites these. That's not great. Okay, so apparently I didn't think that through either. No matter, it's a small correction. That is now correct, and it needs just a wire going this way. That, and then that's all correct, so it just needs, I'm going to manually fill in these top ones. And I just need to remember to put in this by hand. Yeah. So if this comes out like this, hang on, why is that? Oh right, okay, so I've made a mistake here. So a little concerning that that activated like that. So this goes out. That goes in. Right, so you've got to take that way. Hang on, that needs to go in. That needs to go out. This needs to be stepped. That's going to. That's likely that's going to cause an issue. In fact, it's certainly going to cause an issue because it needs to be in a straight line. Like it won't operate, it won't activate with that like that. I need to go and turn all these into outside ones. Other than that, it's going to be fine. I feel real good about it. I actually do feel quite good about this. I was really stressed about how ugly this design was becoming. It's just like, this is a much neater solution. Faster too. Faster, simpler, easier to understand. Just better in every way. Is also what she said. So, yeah, just need to turn the. So this is fine. That doesn't need changing. So it's this stuff that needs changing. Step down the outside. goes like that. I really need to get on that. I barely even coloured that. Sorry, I was thinking about something else. So that's going to go like this, and then and I'm going to fill this in with concrete. Right. If I put a redstone signal in at the top, that should turn on instantly. So the flow is broken somewhere. Here, okay. How did I miss that? So the flow is broken here. That was far from instant. Oh, why is that going so slowly? So it should be able to propagate without those. Maybe. Just take these all away. Be a real pain putting them back in, but gotta be done. It's just not good, is it? Because that doesn't. is that not running instantly? Is it because of these, perhaps? Right, so that's clear to be instant. That's potentially not clear to be instant. This is entirely clear to be instant. I see all those were very decidedly instantaneous, right? I connect it like that for all of those. See how all of those in that section were instantaneous. But that, for some reason, wasn't. Wow, that's itchy. Sorry, I just had a... So that turns off essentially instantly. But it takes forever to turn on. So that is essentially propagating one layer at a time. Why? Oh, I know why. It's because having a wire here messes that up. That wire is too close, basically. Which means I need to add an extra 2 width into it. Right. might be another case of course there's nothing left to undo. Oh yes, actually that's fair. That's fair. That's very fair. Yes, it is. That's correct there. That's correct. No, it's just I just needed to see. So, what I need to do is honestly just get rid of all this and start again. It's gonna be quickest. And basically I just need to make it, I think, give it an extra 1 block of width. So that connects correctly. No, this needs to be gotten rid of. That needs to be gotten rid of. You could make a Manscaped commercial with me trimming all this moss. Oh man, those commercials are so off-putting. Thank you. Anyway, yes. Concrete, I think. So it's standardized, and now that is, so having over here we're starting with output here, input here, right? Since this layer is going to be here, to allow a gap of 2, now this should mean that it's not interfering with that, which should make it instant. next layer. Output here. Input here. And insta-wire here to here. Layer 3. Like this. Do some research on that. Hang on. That goes there. That goes like that. So that pond's in. That is so. Comes across here. Here. So I think that extra gap of 2 there stops the interference. I'm going to need to check some of my other buildings to see if I've actually got gaps like that which could break it. Some of my buses might have that problem. Specifically that big one I did for, that big universal one I did over there. Watch this not be the problem at all. So anyway, comes out 2, goes round. Rabbit goes into the hole. Rabbit comes out of the hole. Excuse me. Right. So that comes around there, and that is. Yeah, I've done these the wrong way around, haven't I? So that's the right way around, but why is this one then wrong way around? Oh right, yes, because I've done this the wrong way around. This needed to be this way around. With starting there, ending there. Goes like so. Connect that, connect this here. That's connected correctly. This connects correctly. Sorry, I'm literally just spitting random words there. It's like brain dead noise coming out of my mind. My mind, mainly just my mouth, not my mind. That connects. Yes, that's the correct way around. That's alternated correctly. That's alternated correctly. That looks good. Yes, and that is fine. Just need to remove this concrete apron. Fix this. Like that. Careful that fall down inside and so now I just need to connect the levels. So this level needs to connect like that. This level needs to connect like that. This level needs to connect that. Then yes, this level needs to connect like this. 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 Excuse me. This level this level needs to connect like this. This level, so the connections are still just a little bit ugly. Like no avoiding it. Like that. This goes like this, right? Wrong. Yes, like that. Yes. And this here. This level like that, and then I should be able to do this test again. Hopefully this works. Something is, this level is not connected here. Look how slow that still is. Sounds even slow turning off, which is interesting. Why was the other one instantaneous to turn off? Firstly, let me just do this again to double check. Okay, so that actually doesn't even... So that at least explains that. Now that might work. So all I can think of is that it's being interfered with by this end here as well. obviously the solution to that is simple, just add another gap in. Undo everything and re-gap it. So yes, it's progressing down layer by layer. Obviously it turns off instantly. Which we would expect it to do, because turning it off turns off this before it turns that off, so yes. So redesign number 3. Clean that out. So, this needs to go back 1. So it's got to come out like that. It's got to go in like that. Okay, so that's a problem. So the problem is it's now affecting this guy here. Like if I have, so to get that signal in here it has to go like that, but then it's going straight into that. Ew, this is annoying now. I could just offset. What I do is I offset everything by 1. So complete reset again. Imagine it doesn't work even with this. That is correct, it connects like that. Okay, so, sorry, just a random talk again. Random word generator. Stochastic parrot. That's what I am right now. Oh, it's gonna have to be done, isn't it? Sorry for such graphic depictions of violence, but this guy is going to hang around and get in the way. Get out of here. Scram. I need to turn NPCs off. It's funny, I like having the bats though, I find them amusing. So it needs to be to there. Some kind of configuration like that. This has potential to work. As long as that doesn't interfere with that. I mean, it's kind of an assumption that's what the issue is anyway. The issue could be far more serious. So you get the gist of what's going on here. have to say I've got a bad feeling that what I'm fixing here is not the problem. So this connects. I want to copy that. I want to be standing. So you've got this connected there, you've got this here. is this is broken. Excuse me. Please let this work. So there's a gap here. Well, that would be a. Okay, so that's the wrong way around. Is it? Yeah, have I? I have, haven't I? I have messed up. Well, it's, so that's the opposite way around. Those are the opposite way around. Those are the opposite way around. Those are the opposite way around. Okay, so firstly it's just this that's the wrong way around. It's this, needs to be feed in and feed. No, it needs to be. Like that. It needs to be like that. those. Right, I'm just going to take all of these out for now. So, how far does the signal propagate? Signal. I was worried about that. It's not actually quite long enough to get there. If we go this side, it might be. Like that, yes. This needs to be brought around. Okay, so I'm actually at a loss as to why that is not instantaneous. Why is it instantaneous when I turn it off? Does that turn on instantly? No, it doesn't. Why is that? I just delete that, what happens? There's still a tick of delay there. Okay, this is beyond my understanding. Way beyond my understanding. What I do know is that when I mean, is Minecraft updated or something? What I do know is that when I have them in this configuration, like this is all insta wires in there, right? When I have them in this configuration, they are in fact instantaneous. There's no crosswise contamination. I know that when I have them in this configuration they break, but that's okay in this particular application. This is actually kind of bizarre. Let me try moving this out one. I'm really not sure what to make of this. Almost certainly, right, whatever I make of it, I'm going to have to make of it off stream, because like, I don't have the resources here to fix it. Like, I don't know enough about Minecraft to fix it. There's a tick of delay. Why is there a tick of delay? Just check if that's happening on the ground. So if that's happening on the ground, then I know that it's something to do with my something to do with Minecraft itself and not my actual design. Possible I've just forgotten how to build them, and I've done something wrong in the setup. So there's a tick of delay doing that as well. Have I stopped using instawires correctly? Let me just compare the design. Has my Minecraft recently updated? Because if instawires are broken now, yes, that would be grounds for an immediate roll run. See, that's still instant. That was very much so instant. Maybe it's a moss block thing. Maybe moss block. Maybe Minecraft has slide mechanics and moss is sticky or something. It's the exact same design, right? There's nothing different about sticky piston. Sticky piston, yes. Let's try it with concrete. That's instant. That's not instant. Instant. Oh, I see. So sticky pistons can't actually pull moss blocks. That's fascinating. So in fact, all I need to do to fix this is yes. Well, I guess this is how new discoveries are made. Is this science? Question mark. Well, that's honestly a huge relief. I was afraid it was something much more serious. So I'll rebuild this whole thing in like wool. But just for testing right now, I'm just going to go through like this and replace all moss blocks with just to verify this is the problem. That is yes. There you go, instant. Lovely. Right, so off stream I'm going to replace all that with blue wool. Given that clearly, well, no, actually, I'll tidy it up off stream, make it a little bit nicer. I don't know how yet. But you get the idea now. Now a signal can come out of any of these. It can propagate down and then fill up all the rest of these below it with ones, right? So the highest order mismatched one in either number will turn this signal on, which will send the signal out here and will fill up every number below it with a 1, right? Which means that I'll have two towers of 1s. Like, I'll have a tower of 1s here and a tower of 1s there. Well, except it's there and there, right? And basically all I need to do is check which tower is higher to know which number is bigger. Because essentially the size is determined by the highest power of 2 that is not the same. And that's basically all it is. So, thanks for watching. This has been not terrible. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. And also check out some of the other pods. Like the first binary comparison stream will explain a little bit better what I'm doing here, for example. The CPU architecture stream from a while back was reasonably instructive, and then there was the CPU control circuits stream, which was also modestly instructive.